Good morning, everyone. This is Martin here, just doing a sound check test. If you can hear me, I just want to know you guys are in the best of health after a very quiet weekend, I should say, right? Because of the lockdown that we have seen, we are not able to go out. And I suppose, with the MCO, you all heard about the news, right? We have already hit our 1.5. Okay, now remember during the COVID-19, one of the talks that we talked about last Wednesday for the political talk, we have to ensure that our R0 stays below 1. If not, we're going to be hitting even much longer. That's very unfortunate with the COVID-19 that we've seen so far in here. But what can we do? We must stay at home and stay safe. That's all we can say about the situation that we're seeing right now here. And while many of you are really asking the kind of question, where is the market heading? So this is something we want to share with you. No doubt we are early this morning, but I just want to make sure a lot of our communication are coming to you nice and well. It's okay. We will just talk about something more in general, and we really appreciate if you could share this video in your timeline that more people can enjoy the news, the headline, and some of the stocks educational tips that will help you to make money, and definitely some of our picks in the last week on the rubber glove as well as the pharmaceutical has made pretty well. I'm sure you heard about that one too. So do share this in your timeline. We really appreciate that. And also share this in a group that you enjoy listening, and so we can help them in the market. All right. Now, before we, is the sound coming in okay? Just want to do a sound check, please. Just let me know. Just let me know if the sound is coming in okay or not. All right, just want to make sure the sound is coming in nicely, and that will be great for before we. So, all right, great. Thanks. Okay, thanks, Miss Lau, and give me a thumbs up as we talk about the news that we have. All right, it's almost time right now, and good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Breakfast Show Money Talk with SmartRobie. Now, the earlier one was just to address some of the audio issues that we have, but perhaps this week we may see an interesting week on the KLSE. Definitely last Friday and Thursday we have seen the market bit go lower and finally breaking up higher, but that has been quite interesting, isn't it? We can see the spring made on Thursday and the market rebounded on Friday, and the market seems to be going higher despite what they said about the market, right? And our market this morning, let's check our market this morning, is no other than, let's look at the market this morning. This morning when I last saw it was up 7 points, okay, at 1511. It's important that we break above the 1530, okay, to have any continuation. But let's more on our first story for today is no other than, that's right, the CMCO that we've seen so far on the REITs sector. Now, a report came up about CGS talk about the impact of the conditional market condition, and they have seen that has really impacted many of the shopping mall. The third wave that we've seen in the Klang Valley and totally shut down many parts of Putrajaya, Selangor, and Kuala Lumpur. The foot traffic to a lot of the shopping mall has quite up. Even where I live, I think the curve just had another hit. There were some cases, and people are quite reluctant even to go any shopping, no doubt, any restaurant at all in those places in here. But this report, I think, concerned more about the future when they talk about the second half of 2020. Second half of 2020 is already right now. We are in second half, almost coming to the end of it. And there are only two analyst preference in here. Let's take a look at them, okay, before we look back into the market. Now, exits risk, why I still like exits rate. One of the reasons why, because they have a lot of exposure in the warehousing. In those someone who are looking for yield, let's look at the yield in here, looking at stock fundamental in here, and that is giving you a 4% return, right, which is not bad. If you look at it, a 4% return, much better than a lot of things that we usually see in the fixed deposit, isn't it? This is a 4%. Looking at it, PE is not that expensive, better than the average PE, which is 3%. This is about 10% in here. Dividend of 4%. So, okay, compared to the average of 6% in here. and it has a 3-year CAGR. Let's look at the stock chart, shall we? And the stock chart that we have here. All right, it has just turned yellow, bearish. Yellow bearish trend zone. So that tells you the market is looking to set a bit down, but still holding up there. So nothing to be much worry of. So let's look at the other one, IGB. But IGB, I last saw it was heading southward because IGB has more exposure to the shopping mall, and that's why you can see, and also hotel, you can see the stark difference between these two. The other one is holding up, this one just go all the way down, hitting the floor of the thing. All right, but something I want to comment on is today a market we have seen so far in here. Let me just show you. This is the KLSE chart. So let me just zoom it up for you. So you can see last Friday we did close on a low point, but this morning we are up. So very important, we have to take out the old high. This little chart that we see here, this one here, if you can take out that, then that seems to be very, very good. But that's going to be a real challenge if you are able to take that one out. So that will be the 1530 level in here. So today is 1511, so we probably see this week if we can hit higher for that one. Now budget 2021 are installed, but also the political situation is also impacting what we see in the market in here. All right. So right now we are still sideways market. All right. Let's move on to our next story. Okay. Our next story is no other than Thong Guan, which is a plastic maker. And the report talks about, with the CMCO, more people are buying packaging and food packaging. As such that there are a big boom in the business. They are willing to invest 150 million in 2021 and 2022, with about 30 to 40 million in Myanmar. There was some incentive setting up a factory over there, but I think at the end of it, we all know why people set up in this sort of less developed country is the taking advantage of the labor, all right, a labor union, labor issues, and labor costs. In Malaysia, labor are imported. We get them from Bangladesh and so forth. It's still pretty much a very labor intensive for the plastic industry in here. So definitely going to Myanmar is good for them, for Thong Guan on a nice expansion. Let's look at Thong Guan for what it is this morning here. There was a stock split. Okay, just keep in mind, TGuan. Okay, and let me just show you the stock split on the news. If you look at the news, there was a stock split on August 19. Thong Guan talked about a 1-for-1 bonus. And if you look at the chart today, it just split on Friday, on Thursday. Okay, let's look at stock chart here. And you can see in here, charts looking very nice. You can see here, that was sell-off. Of course, anything that breaks down, Pentagon will automate, right? We will get the technicals to update the chart as soon as this issues is settled. All right, so right now it is at stock split, so around 275 onwards, because it's a 50% stock split price inside there. So Thong Guan looking very good. Let's look at the dividend, whether this in the longer run will be, it's not one of those exciting shares that we talk about in here. Give a 2.48%, which is still better than the sector average, and return on ROE is pretty low than the sector average, but PE is quite cheap, so it has a 2 rating for that one. Let's move on to our next story. So our next story talks about the GE industry. GE stands for green energy. Green energy is very exciting right now, as the SLVest is talking about transferring from the ACE market to the main market here. Okay, so it does have a net cash of 46.6 million as of 30th of June. So that tells you they are in a very, very strong position in there. All right. So, okay, this morning, the sound looking very good, right? So far, we don't have any robotic voice. I suppose my technical teams have helped me to fix it up. So, one thing also good about this is the net cash, and also they talk about the demand, which is good because Malaysia is moving towards a green energy. As such, they do say that 20% of power consumption will be from renewable green energy by 2025. So you can see SLVest. Let's look at the SLVest chart, shall we? Okay. So SLVest, we can look at the stock chart here. So right now you can see it's still well supported at 120 in here, and this is, to me, it's a growth stock, right? Let's look at the stock fundamentals. Okay, it is P are pretty pricey. Sector average was about 42 times. It's now 40 times in here. ROE is not bad at a 15%, but doesn't pay any dividend. Of course, they are in the A's market in here. Trading is overpriced in here. Right now, doing 120. Of course, with a P of 14 times, with the ROE, it is deemed to be overvalued from SmartRobie in here. So this is definitely a growth stock for that one, those of you who are interested in that. Okay, chart wise, we want it to break a bit. So if you want to go in for SLVest, the trading plan is to ensure it breaks above almost 190. So right now it is doing 127, very close to ready to move up. So this looks like SLVest is ready to move up. Take a look at it. If you like it, just use the trading band that we have. All right, let's move on to our next story. Okay, our next story is no other than gloves. That's right, everybody needs gloves, isn't it? So the story talks about from the analyst, and this is from the Rakuten Trade Research, that despite what we've seen about vaccine, many wise vaccine will take some time to distribute, especially in the context of even the Chinese vaccine is coming up. But the demand is still good for the time being, as fully functional vaccine is still a time away. So that's why we're seeing both the Pharma Niaga stocks as moving up. Pharma Niaga, Dpharma, the rubber glove, and Hata. Let's look at this morning. What is Top Glove doing? Okay, as we can see, this should bring some positive news to Top Glove. Okay, it's up 2.6% already, so you can see that. And Supermax usually move more. Okay, Supermax like Superman, right? So look at Supermax right now. Supermax is also up 2%. So all these stocks they all move in a very similar way. So if you buy two from the same counter, it's just you're doubling your investment. So stay one or two. Just one should be enough, and then diversify on other things. So the healthcare, Dpharma, others has also moved, which I'll talk about it later in here. So this sector does tell you that there is still some time to go. So if you're looking to go in Supermax, in this example, use those trading plan that is provided by SmartRobie. That tells you consider buying above 10.82 or $9, which is another 10 cents more. This is ready to go. Okay, that's the entry price. And take note, the EPS, it's coming out on the 28th of November. Okay, 28th of November for Supermax. So that would be quite exciting to see if this market will continue to go up. And now remember, ladies and gentlemen, when on good news, market usually turn. So this one will tell you the market is going to go up by now, perhaps, looking at the trading plan. And when the news comes out on the 28th, which is only about 11 days more, then the market will turn back. So it does look like this is quite healthy, pushing and going forward in here. All right, let's move on to our next story. So our next story is going to be on FGV. Now, Syed Mokthar is making a move for the plantation giant, and they are talking about seeking 20% of FGV. But if you look back at the history, this is almost 8 years ago when FGV started at $4.55. There were at that time you can see the IPO prices. People who have bought it, especially EPF, who have lost lots of money. Let's look at FGV today. I think it's just below 1 ringgit in here. This is what we call value destruction. Value destruction, looking at the stock price here. And it's kind of sad. Just $1. It went down to below $1. Now it's went back to 113, ready to move higher, partly because of this news that we see of Syed Mokthar making a move. And let's look at the chart right now. I believe it already turned green pentagon earlier on. Okay, you can see very nicely done, and you have an uptrust. So this does looks pretty decent, and right now also the CPO prices have some sort of support. So FGV is good, but chart wise is not one of the best. There are better plantation stock with a better chart, so look at those. But if you're playing on FGV on this Syed Mokthar thing, this is actually a good time to look into it or use the trading plan. Okay, let's move on to our next story. So our next story focus on the US market in here. Now, the report that was done by Barron's looking at all the US fund manager and money managers, it says that 54% of the fund managers are bullish, with 30% neutral, and balance is bearish in here. And one of the reasons why is because of the low interest rate that US is having, making share investing very, very attractive. They say that even with the election going on, there will still be some upside with it. So this is just the opinion of the US fund manager. They may and may not be right. But at the end of the day, we want to really look at the charts. I think the charts is one of the most important way to look at the it, and we have seen last Friday and even last Saturday we are looking at the higher, and usually the case when the market hit a new high, everybody comes up. But you guys who have been following me for some time, I think you know what I'm talking about in here, so keep in mind. All right, so let's look at the news that we have this morning here and see if there's any opportunity for some stocks. Right, RHB, okay, we have Genting, we have Gas Malaysia TM, 10 more employees tested positive from COVID, so they have to work from home. Okay, we have Gas Malaysia, Greenhouse, RHB Bank. Nothing much of the really exciting one, so we're just sort of going to skip it. It's I want something more exciting, which is the next story which I'm going to share with you. So the next story is Dpharma. That's right. Now Dpharma was one of the stock we picked on the 12th of October, which is episode 60. Right now we're doing episode 63, and the market this morning has kept up. And it's made about 13%, not too bad, all right? So let's look at Dpharma, all right? Having said that, and one of the simple clue is look at the buy and sell signal of Dpharma when it first came out on the green pentagon. That's no rocket scientist in here. Pretty easy to see. You can see after where we have, and I did talk about this also in the few shows that I have, and also Wednesday talk and Saturday talk. You can see the market going up. So you want to buy when no one is interested at the first green pentagon inside here, and also type FAQ to get into those tutorial about sign of strength and sign of weakness. By the way, on the 31st of October, we are doing our one-day course. If you have time and would like to know more about what we can teach you about the volume spread analysis, do text into the number that you see in the bottom screen inside here to find out more about our one-day course. Okay, so at the end of the day, Dpharma is up 13% in here. It is looking to test 420. But all in all, we did see a shakeout, all right? And that's going to be quite good going forward. All right, let's move on to our next story. So our next story will be on, okay, the stock pick. That's right. Now, last Friday's stock pick, finally, as the market decided to be more bullish, GCap is up 6%, DNO is up 1%. Let's look at the GCap, which is called Gunung Capital, okay? We're going to look at the stock price. And I think this morning is up 2%, and so that's why we see the GCap is up 6% in here. Okay, switching in to all right, let's take a look, and I'm going to show you where we first gone in for GCap. Again, it need to follow some of the rules that we talk about, the trade setup, the volume, and then you can see this why the stock goes up. So you can see here, very nicely done, this stock here. Okay. And it's continued to go up. Nicely done. So because one of the reasons why, if we look back, switching back to the daily chart, you can see this market fell right to the bottom there and push up, but you do have an old high at 75 cents inside. Perhaps that's an area you want to take some profit too. All right, so TecFast is the stock that we picked this morning on the premium alert here. Okay, so let's look at TecFast. Okay, TecFast, we look at the stock prices. We're going to go to the live real chart. Ooh, 13%. Well, this morning when I look at it at just at 9:30, I was preparing for it. It was less than this. All right. Let's move up a lot more already. TecFast. Okay, let's move up, and it's up 13% in here. Okay, switching to a daily chart. We are trading at the daily chart. We want to look at daily chart in here. Yeah, it did. All right. Yeah, we will stick to TecFast. Okay. And this is the stock pick that we have. And let's see the next couple of days where it will move up to. Let's look at another stocks that we have for today. Okay, for the remaining time. And it's definitely going to be premium alert. Okay, and Hill, Hoa Genting, Southcom, Takshin, Luster, MP Corp. All right, MP Corp is back. There you go. Okay, target profit today last and 80. What do you think? Let's look at Luster 50868. Okay, and let's look at the stock price right now. Wow, 11% so short up, huh? A lot of these stocks have moved up really fair bit. Okay, there you go. The thing. Okay, looking at the daily chart. Okay, Luster, and we want to see a bit of movement here. What do you think? Okay, I think Luster is pretty okay. So we will take Luster for those two stocks. Okay, so we will come back and check it out on Wednesday. Okay, so on Wednesday, these are the two stocks, TecFast and Luster. Okay, so let's move on to our remaining of that. Now for this Wednesday, all right, we have something special really, because since we are talking about the US election, continuing what we had from last week, the post-US election market outlook, if Donald Trump wins and get re-elected, somehow on the books of many fund managers that we talked about just now, the survey of the US money managers, a lot has been said that Biden is going to win. But we want to look at the market for the other side. What do you think? Do you think Trump will win or Biden will win? Just type it inside there, okay? So here will be this analysis where we look at from the side of Trump winning and see if he get wins, what are the new policies and how high will the market go or how low the market will go down. So that will be interesting. So join me this Wednesday night, 9:30, something very exciting for a live talk, the post-US election market outlook if Trump wins and get re-elected. All right. And those of you who have not joined our, who are first time, do join our Telegram chat group for free stock market information in here. And all things having been said, we really want to put money in your pocket with our breakfast show, and with that, SmartRobie able to help you. So with that, thank you very much, and thank you for joining me today. I will see you on Wednesday for our breakfast show, and later in the evening for the US market talk. Thank you, and thank you for sharing too. Bye-bye.